star play. Guess who? Body up the middle, making another move to the outside. 15, 10, end zone again.
Keeps it. Nice move by Brown. He's got space. He's got 6. 35-yard touchdown for Byron Brown. A record-setting night for the South Florida quarterback.
Down so far, a little bit of a high snap. Genty right up the middle. Genty has room. Ashton Genty, give him 6.
Second and long. Lagar tries to pin it in. Rose, it does. Rose stays up. The Suns offense 4-3 wheels. Incredible effort for Rose.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive Live, and we are excited to bring you another G5 college football coverage that you love each and every week. I am Luke, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justice. Another week of college football down. We're climbing to that halfway point, and guess what? We got an ODU win for our boy Justice. It's away, so you didn't get to maybe celebrate the way you might like at home, but
I went to a watch party, so I got to celebrate with other Old Dominion fans. So that was cool. Yeah, there's a local brewery here, Afterglow Brewing, that they are partnered with the NIL collective for Old Dominion, the Pride of ODU. They also recently released a beer where money gets donated to the NIL. And so they've been doing events for athletics, I don't know, since the summer. And they have really great beer too. So just a cool place. Got to enjoy it with other Old Dominion fans. So that was cool. Finally get the W. Harold Fannin Jr., man, dude, oh man, he's a beast. He's a beast. He was like their offense. And I was just screaming, just triple cover the guy, put everybody on him or something, man. Because he was just torching Old Dominion, he did it to Penn State, he did it to Texas A&M. He's torched every team he's played this season, and Old Dominion was no different. Lucky to walk out of there with a win.
I did not get to watch as much college football as I would like this weekend. I got to celebrate. I had a college teammate, played college baseball, college shortstop. Brad Bloom made it into the Hall of Fame for our school, so I went back to celebrate with him and some teammates, and it was a blast. Tried to do things like we were young again. Don't recover quite as quickly as I used to, but we went to the bar scene. We rode. We have a drunk bus on campus that will take you to the bars and then back to campus. So we did a tour of that. We were fully immersed in the college experience. It was a fun weekend. It was about a 4.5 hour drive. So that drive back Sunday was a little bit rough. But went to our football game. Our football game did not go too well. I think it was 56-0. It was 10-0 at halftime. 10-0 at halftime and lose. I think it was 56-0, 63. It was not good. So, but hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, please give us a follow, a like, a retweet. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, please give us a rate and review.
All right, let's get into our Week 5 review, the G5 versus P4 games. What do you got for us, Luke?
All right, so we had Northern Illinois at NC State Saturday. NC State wins 24-17. Like I said earlier, Justice, I did not get to watch a lot of football due to the Hall of Fame stuff. What do you have for us here?
Man, Northern Illinois should have won the game. They had some turnovers in the second half that really kind of crushed them. They still had opportunity to win. They just couldn't get it done. A couple of interceptions, and man, Northern Illinois looked like the better team, but they led to their own demise with the turnovers. but kudos to them going to NC State, playing a tough game. Would have loved to have seen them get the win, and in my opinion, they should have won the game. They lost a turnover battle, and that's what lost them the game.
Then we had Western Kentucky at Boston College. I was able to kind of track this a little bit, and Western Kentucky held the lead there for quite a bit. But Boston College pulls out the win 21-20. I understand you had some eyes on this one. Justin, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Northern Illinois game, man. Western Kentucky kind of shot themselves in the foot. Caden Veltkamp played lights out in the first half, and then it was complete opposite in the second half. Again, 2 interceptions led to Boston College points, and that was kind of what did it for them. I mean, Western Kentucky should have won this game, in my opinion, but they lose the turnover battle, and that cost them the game. So, at this point, in my opinion, the G5 should have had 2 wins, but the turnover battle did not go their way and didn't happen.
Well, let's talk about the win that did happen. Louisiana at Wake Forest. Louisiana wins 41-38. I covered some of that there in the Offensive Player of the Week. Justice, what do you got to say about this one?
It's I hate to say this, but I thought the referees were pretty one-sided, and not in the side of Louisiana, more for Wake Forest. There are several controversial calls in that game. And they all seem to go Wake Forest's way. But Louisiana, at the end of the day, was able to pull it out. Wake Forest had a shot to send the game to overtime, and maybe that was the case of the ball not lying. The kicker absolutely shanked it, and gave Louisiana the win. And so at the end of the day, justice was served. Louisiana got the win, despite the poor efforts by the referees.
And then concluding the P4 versus G5 matchup, South Alabama goes into LSU, and LSU wins 42-10. Let's get into. Oh, you got something there?
I was just gonna say I expected more points from South Alabama. I didn't think they could beat LSU, but I thought they would have at least gotten 14 to 20 points. But hey, live to fight another day.
All right, now let's get to our good G5 versus G5 matchups that happen. South Florida at Tulane. Tulane just crushes South Florida, partly because Byron Brown went out, but they win 45-10. Mensa was just lights out from what I was able to pay attention to.
This game was over before. This game was over before Byron Brown left the game. It was over long before that. South Florida does not look good, even with Byron Brown. And the more I watch Tulane, the more I watch Mensa, Darian Mensa, the more I'm impressed with him, man. He is a daggone pretty good. He's a pretty good quarterback. They still rotated him out some with Ty Thompson. In terms of running play, where Ty Thompson was just going to run the ball. But Mensa, he's got some running ability as well. Maybe he's not as great a runner as Ty Thompson, but he's effective at it. He can do it. But man, he is just so accurate. Just everything on the money. This Tulane team, man, looks really, really good. I think today, I would say they might beat Memphis. It's going to be a good matchup when Tulane and Memphis play each other for sure.
And that one's at Memphis, I believe, right?
I think so, yeah.
And let's go from one blowout to another. Ball State at James Madison. The streamers were flying. JMU wins 63-7. What'd you think about this one?
Just the JMU offense, man. Back-to-back weeks, 70 points and then 63 this week, man. They got things rolling, like we said earlier. They got things rolling after the bye week. I would have thought Ball State would have been able to put up a more of a fight than they did. But kudos to James Madison and the Purple Streamers, man. They were flying all over the place on Saturday.
All right, and then to a closer one, again, highlighted some of this in the Player of the Week. Texas State at Sam Houston. Sam Houston wins from come behind fashion 40-39. This one was an exciting one to watch. What were your thoughts?
I didn't get to watch a lot of this game. I watched mostly as the first quarter or so, and that was dominated by Texas State. The Sam Houston offensive line looked really, really rough. They were getting beat by that Texas State D line over and over again. First offensive series of the game, Texas State gets a touchdown. Sam Houston gets the ball. Hunter Watson gets sacked and fumbles, and it's a scoop and score. And they're down 14-0 like in the first few minutes of the game. So I did not get to see what happened, where the turning point was, if you will. From listening to some other folks, I guess the big turning point was Texas State went for it on 4th and 1 on their own side of the field and didn't get it. Instead of punting the ball, and Sam Houston got it and went on and scored, and so that seemed to really kind of shift the momentum and seal Texas State's fate. But when I was watching it early on, like I said, Texas State, the defensive line just kind of dominated Sam Houston. So kudos to Sam Houston for figuring out a way to get it done.
So I, again, didn't get to watch any of those games, but Hunter Watson had a lot of yards on the ground. Was it from the scrambling and then like have to go, or what you were able to gather? Like they kind of had designed runs for him.
I did not get to see that. Like I said, I only saw the first quarter. My guess, just by how things went, what I did watch is it could have been a mix of both, right? Because like I said, that offensive line was having a hard time with the Texas State defensive line. So I'm sure a lot of it was scrambles just to avoid pressure.
All right. Then we had Liberty and App State. That game was canceled due to flooding in Boone from the hurricane. Fresno State at UNLV. Game we were excited for. Another blowout. UNLV wins big 59-14. Georgia Southern at Georgia State. The Battle of Georgia.
Back to the UNLV game, we talked a little bit about it, but man, that game was like I didn't see that coming, right? I mean, not a blowout of that proportion. I thought this would be a tight contest in terms of both teams being able to score, but that UNLV defense is legit, man. They're legit.
Georgia Southern at Georgia State. Georgia Southern wins 38-21. Georgia State, a team I think a lot of people are sleeping on that. I kind of get this.
They're playing
vibe.
better than I think. Yeah, anyone expected.
Yeah,
they're playing better for sure.
Like I get this vibe of like what Sam Houston was last year, where they kind of like the ball just bounced the wrong way, and they we're trying to find that first win, but maybe had a couple opportunities. Like Georgia State kind of gives me some of those vibes where it's like they get a. I mean, they got a nice win against Vandy, but like they could be in a couple more games, but like putting up a lot of points. So I think Georgia State doing the right things here going forward with that new coaching staff. We had another blowout with Tulsa at North Texas. North Texas wins 52-20. I feel like anytime I did checks the box score, Morris was throwing a touchdown or something. Like he was just putting up all sorts of points. UL Monroe at Troy. We talked about UL Monroe wins 13-9. More of a defensive struggle. Justice, what were your thoughts around this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just came down to the quarterbacks of Troy kind of getting knocked out. Right, they were on their third string quarterback. That UL Monroe defense is good. I mean, UL Monroe is going to run the ball and play good defense. That's kind of be their MO, I think, this year. They have a big test though this week against JMU. We'll see if that defense can hold up against that JMU offense.
All right, New Mexico at New Mexico State. New Mexico wins this one 50-40. And then Washington State at Boise State. Boise State wins 45-24. The Fighting Ashton Genties just crushing it. Ron puts in there in the chat, Genty for Heisman. Oh, Eric Froton, welcome. Love the G5 Hive. Welcome, Eric. We love you.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that Washington State wasn't able to do more offensively against Boise. I thought this game was going to be a lot like the San Jose State Washington State game or the Boise State Oregon game, and it wasn't. Boise State just kind of dominated Washington State, which surprised me a little bit.
All right, now before we get to our Week 6 previews, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button and then make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us on X, please like and retweet. Come back and join us next week as we discuss what happened in Week 6, as well as look forward to Week 7 of the 2024 season, as well as bring you all up to date on the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, please give us a retweet, a like, and a follow. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings and review. Thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.
Hot dog,